The following podcast is considered for a mature audience and should only be listened to by an adult. If you're not an adult, please go and get an adult so that you can watch them as they try to awkwardly explain all of the dumb shit that we're about to say. Listener discretion is advised.
Paddy O'Brien, ex-Irish assassin. His trademark, a superstitious man. He leaves a tiny keepsake from his good luck bracelet on every victim he kills. Scotland Yard would love to get their hands on that piece of evidence.
Yeah, they're always after me, Lucky Charms. What? Why's everyone always laugh when I say that? They are after me, Lucky Charms. What?
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 89, we'll be delving into the Oscars that happened this past weekend. Also, a romantic trip went wrong. Plus, Scream is back. Scream 6 in this week's movie review. Plus, of course, this Friday, St. Patrick's Day. We're in the spirit here. I'm all in green. Kush Hayes wearing his wonderful hat. I am Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man from San Fran. It's Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
Well, Faith and Begora, y'all. Kush Hayes here, coming to you. Newest edition of the Waffle Box. St. Patrick's Day. Pandemic post edition. It is the original Waffle Box. You accept no substitutes because it is the best part of Wednesdays. And we just missed the post on it. Oh, I'm so sad. So sad. Lathan, why did you play that shit so fast? But yeah, Mike, like I said, dude, it's different for county to county, state to state, even country to country. But this Friday, for the residents of San Francisco, it's 3 years of a lockdown. Now things have loosened up by quite a bit. In fact, they're like, you don't even need to wear a mask in the hospital anymore, bro. But
I'm trying. I think my
still will.
Pandemiversary was yesterday. No, it was Thursday the 12th or Thursday the 13th. Oh, I can't remember, but it was a Thursday, so it was around this time. But yes, and then the following Saturday I went and got a dog, so that's our little gotcha date coming up, little anniversary. That's an Oreo.
That's exciting, actually.
Yeah.
That's amazing. You could even get a dog. Like you figure they would they probably just couldn't give them away fast enough. A week later,
so
right?
It was already pre-arranged, and then like we signed the documents to get the dog, and then we were going to pick up Oreo like a week later, and then everything shut down. So yeah, we lucked out.
Okay. I think the only difference that you and I had is we were both at home, which is similar, but you were working from home while I was just like, oh, I guess just ride this out for 2 weeks. Just 2 weeks. It'll be fine. I'll be back to work in 2 weeks. Warriors are coming back, no big deal. And I think everyone knows the rest. But do you miss anything about the pandemic, Mike? Like when we're deep into it, like those first days.
The lack of traffic. That's about it.
Lack of traffic. Yeah, lack of traffic was nice. I guess, nice.
And discovering for the first time, the joy of discovering that, oh my God, I can order alcohol through an app and get it delivered to my doorstep. Game changer.
We did a lot of that, sure.
But now looking back,
you can still do that. Bye.
Well, I still can, but the price now I'm like, geez, the prices is ridiculous. But obviously, needs must at the time. But I don't think I'll ever use that app again. Fingers crossed, anyway.
I miss actually going to the coffee shop, and then they're they're only allowing 4 of us in, and maybe at most like 2 people were waiting outside, and that would be it. It been like they removed all the tables, all the chairs, they put them back in the storage or whatever. So it's just this open floor plan, and then 2 people making your coffee, and then everyone's 6 feet away from each other. Like I do miss that. That I miss, because now everything's back to normal. Like getting your coffee at the Pete's and the Starbucks. If you don't use the app ahead of time, you're like, so what's the little line?
I think because it was quite cold if I remember correctly, 3 years ago. And so whenever we would go to the grocery store, and they would have to you have to line up around the building with your cart, and then like once someone comes out, they'd let you in. It's like, I was just not, and then getting home because you didn't know what was going on. So we got home, we'd like disinfect everything we bought just in case. You don't know who's touched it. It's crazy times, crazy times. What a time to be alive.
We just used the not Postmates but Instacart for all that stuff. It's like, yeah, I can't stand in a line, and like it's literally just like one extra person is touching this stuff. It should be fine. But
I think we tried.
the mail kept coming every day too, and I know how many people touch that. So
I mean, we tried Instacart once, but then it's like if they if you ask for like some fruit or something, they'd always pick the shitty ones. Or if there's something that you asked for wasn't there, without even asking, they'll give you a different one, even though you checked. Don't give me like a different option. Just don't, if it's not there, just don't buy it. And it'd be like, oh, this is a fucking nightmare.
12 out of the first 12 times, different experience every time. And sometimes like the guy would pick our stuff up and then not show up with it for like 3 hours later. Like everything's on a GPS, by the way. So we're like, hey man, why are you in Daly City? You're supposed to be here at late an hour ago. Like, and anyway, but yeah, one time someone just brought like all shit I didn't order, and so the folks at Instacart's like, we'll give you a credit for like $60 or whatever it was that was missing, and then you can keep all that shit anyways. And I was like, I still don't want this shit. Now it's just taking up space, but we ate it.
Wow.
So but once things settled out, it got better. And let's get to the show, dude.
Well, as I say, we kind of alluded to him last week. We just want to say hello to our producer Lathan, who's in the board,
the new kid
looking after us. How you doing, buddy?
You know what, guys? You gave me a lot of shit last week.
Well, yes, that is true.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it was your first day, but you kept getting the jingles wrong or like ending them early. It was a mess.
Do you think pushing buttons is easy? I'd sure like to see you try.
I mean,
he was doing it. He was doing it.
I was doing it before you.
87 episodes. 87 episodes before we hired you. So, yeah. Don't be nervous, dude. Don't be nervous. And we bust a little balls, right? We bust a little balls.
It's a little hazing, Lathan. Just enjoy yourself. But anyway, how you doing? You want to bring us up to speed? Have any stories in the life of Lathan? How you doing?
Honestly, fellas, I've been better. Last night I was having some alone time, if you know what I mean. But then my cat walked in and caught me in the act. Ooh. She didn't say anything at the time, but things have been awkward between us ever since.
Yeah, no, T's and P's. I can understand that being a bit awkward. I
mean, that's what door locks are for, too. It's the cat. The cat don't care, man. Like, you should have known better than that. How old are you, by the way? Like, that you haven't figured this out yet?
I don't know. He's turned up his mic now. That's all the answers he's got this week.
I mean, he didn't have to put himself on Front Street like that. That was weird. Like I'd be embarrassed too, and except I wouldn't have admitted out loud that I was masturbating in front of my cat.
Well, I guess it's team building. He wants to put it out there.
Look, I know we've talked about my worst nightmare, spiders descending from the ceiling as I'm getting one on, but that actually happened. That's a reoccurring nightmare. That's happened 2 times, actually. But we don't need to share like current events of that nature.
Well, I think it's just a learning experience. Next time, like I say, lock the door or close the door unless your cat knows how to use the doorknob to lock it. But yeah, everyone needs some alone time. Before we get into the main topics of this evening, obviously, I know we start the show with a nice upbeat pandemic overview. So what else have you been up to in the last 7 days on this spherical rock that we call Earth?
We were prepping for Oscars night, which was just this past Sunday. And how did we prep? You might be asking, Mike Fish. Well, we listened to our favorite podcast that is outside of the Waffle Box and is How Did This Get Made? They reviewed the 1991 cult classic Ski School. And then I went and promptly watched it on Amazon Prime, and delightful film. I missed that thing so much. I grew up watching that on like Cinemax in the mid '90s as a
Ooh.
teenager,
So
as a young Lathan might have done. Sans the cat, and just hilarious times.
so it's a Cinemax movie, so a little bit of boobage.
So there's some good boobage in it. There's a lot of brewskis being tossed around and pounded. Of course, we got to get back at that evil Dean, you know. And then of course everybody
crafty
got to
old
party. Everybody's got to party. Everybody's got to
Sexy
party.
party. Beautiful. Well, guess what I did this past weekend.
What'd you do at home, Bray?
Well, what I did was, waste not, want not. So what I thought, I woke up on Saturday and I thought, you know what, my belly be a rumbling. Time for Mikey to make himself some lunch. So, I was looking through the fridge and I found some, got some cold cuts. So, some ham, salami, some
Powerful
buffalo chicken slices, some cheese. So I made myself a big fat sandwich, right?
Powerful.
Toasted that bad boy. Put some crushed peppers, like a spread or something in there, to give it a little bit of extra kick. It was a great sandwich. Until I then later found out, after around about an hour, that perhaps that meat had been in the fridge a little bit too long and was no longer agreeing with me. So, yes, I spent the majority of Saturday laying on the couch or in the bathroom so speaking about going to get coffee, when the barista is making a cappuccino and he's frothing the milk and you get that noise that
Yes, I'm familiar with that noise.
My anus was making that noise for plenty of that day.
Well, also, there's a lot of TMI going on today. I'm guilty of it too. I'm guilty of it too. But wow, okay. Well, I hope you're feeling better, dude. A little 7-Up, a little ginger ale is usually good for something like that, or even like a nice light beer. Just get something fizzy in there, settle it down.
Well, I had although I don't know how good it is, but I guess it's all mental. I had to consume some Gatorade, nice blue Gatorade, a couple of bananas.
I wouldn't have gone with the bananas, but yeah.
Well, apparently that's supposed to do, because it's got a lot of potassium in it. It's good for you. I don't know if it's good for you per se to help
matter,
but it's replacing the stuff that you're pooping out, I guess. I don't know. I just Googled on my phone what should I eat, what should I not eat with an upset stomach, and bananas was there. So you got to believe everything you read on the internet. So
sure,
bananas. And then once I felt a little bit better, I did consume some light beers because it was Saturday after all. Still, cheers.
Hey, powerful Saturdays.
Anyway, now we've all shared. Now we've all got to go know each other a little bit better. Oh, my Ring doorbell has gone. What have we got? What have we got from the powerful people of this neighborhood? Oh, they lost power in the next town over. Well, let's speed things up in case that catches up with me. It's now time. Let's head on to this evening's main stories.
It's now time for this week's top stories.
Yeah, thanks, Lathan. Look at that. He's always bringing some pizzazz, extra pizzazz to the show.
Yeah, that was really good, Lathan. That was really good. Yeah.
Shout out. I guess so. Obviously, the main headlines everything was dominated by the Oscars from this past Sunday. Winners and losers. And
lots of losers.
That was pretty much it. There's not really anything in between there. Top 5 categories. Normally, even though I'm sure they did one or two maybe, but usually throughout the ceremony, they say, oh, by the way, before the show actually began, we gave out these awards that nobody cares about. But they seem to do them all on the main show. And they grouped them together. They had like one set of presenters do like two, just to get best makeup, best shoes in a movie, or some like I don't care about this one. But yeah, it just seemed to drag on a bit more than usual. Was it? Or was it just me?
That was not you. I've heard other people go like, it just went by this year. And I went, no, it didn't. Time out. Like the one complaint that's consistent with every Academy Awards is it's too goddamn long. And this year was definitely no exception. So going back to COVID, the year they did it in a train station, that shit
Best Oscars
was
ever.
3 hours flat. 3 hours flat. Then they went back to the Kodiak Theater last year and they're like, well, we're gonna show these, we're gonna take like 8 of these categories out, but they still somehow ran 3 fucking hours long. You know, I don't pretend to understand what went wrong, but this year they went almost four, probably even
It was
three and
about
a
three
half.
and a half.
However,
I think it was about 3.5.
they had the main 24 categories. I say main loosely, but the primary 24 categories, because the Academy Awards is all year long, actually, Mike Fish, and they actually have different ceremonies over the year. This is just the biggest night of the year. Anyways, um, they also added a celebration to 100 years of Disney. They added a celebration of 100 years for Warner Brothers, and then they just said like, we're going to give you a tour of our museum downtown. And it's like, this is
What the hell is
guys,
happening? There's no need for fluff here. There's no need for fluff.
This is the fluff. This is the fluff. Thank you. You know, and then, like I dug most of the performances, but then like when we get to the acceptance speeches, they were very lopsided with who got time. Like if you want an animated short, you get 30 seconds, and there better not be more than one of you, because someone else ain't getting ready to talk.
Oh, I felt
But
bad
then,
for
like,
that guy who was like, he chimed in and they just hit the music as soon as he walked up to the microphone. Oh,
yeah. And then the same thing, one of the winners, not even Brendan Fraser, but like Ke Huy Quan and Jamie Lee Curtis, they got a very healthy chunk of time to be, and they were very excited, and I was happy for them. Fantastic speeches, made me feel all warm and fuzzy. Like you have to be a cold dead bastard to not feel good about their wins. However, then you get to like best international feature, or no, the musical performance, RRR one.
oh,
And sure enough, the performance
that
was great. The
oh,
song
that
is whatever. However,
what?
the folks that
Slaps.
won, one guy gave his speech, and then another woman got cut off. Like, I just wanted to cut her mic. But God bless her, the Mike Fish. She's like, fuck you, and I'm gonna say hello to everybody here. I'm gonna say thank you to everybody, and she did. And I appreciate the shit out of that. Yeah, man. No, the RRR's live performance was fantastic. I even had to go back and show Mama Hayes the actual scene from the movie after the event was done.
Oh, I haven't seen the movie. Is it very similar to that scene? Did they like reenact the scene?
So the live performance is pretty dope. I thought it would go longer, but when you see those guys stomping on the stage as much as they're like, yeah, it needed to be just the 2 minutes. The scene in the movie is like just a bunch of cut scenes where like they'll be doing the dancing, and they're in a different angle of the party, and they're doing the same moves, and they're in a different angle of the party, and the guy that they're making fun of is like, hey, we need to do a reaction, Mike, because it's still a fantastic scene, all right, but the song is just the same chords over, just hammering over and over and over again. Like, I don't know if it's the best song. Greatest performance though of the year. And if that was the award, then well worth it. Well earned.
But yeah, speaking of, how quickly was you like me? How quickly did you turn from, oh my God, I'm so happy for Brendan Fraser winning this award, to, oh my God, get this guy off stage. What is he talking about? I have no idea.
Did he share a little too much information with you too
last
night?
But he was just
talking.
It's talking, and it was what I don't know what he was saying. I guess he was in shock and excited. Bless him. But it was just kind of like, you're saying a lot but saying nothing.
So if you follow the narrative leading into the Oscars, Brendan Fraser got injured on the set of The Mummy 3 and hasn't worked a day in his life since, Mike. This is actually not true. Brendan Fraser has been working quite regularly, probably not as much as he would have liked to, but he's been working consistently and paying his mortgage and has a happy wife. He also got actually caught up in the Me Too movement, not on the side you would think he'd be on. He actually is the one who got violated, and that's kind of when this whole snowball thing came
I was about to say, when
about.
you said he was the one that got violated, I was about to say, oh, thank God. But no, no, it's not good. But I'm just glad he wasn't the one that was. But you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, so since this thing happened, Brendan Fraser, it's probably not the right phrase these days, but Brendan Fraser is a delicate snowflake that must be protected by the powers that be, or at least Twitter and the rest of the internet, because they're just like, he's like a puppy with one eyeball and three legs, Mike Fish. He can't handle the real world. It's like, just shut up. He's a man. He's been doing this all his life. He's a great actor. Probably a really nice dude. I would love to hang out a day with Brendan Fraser, man. Wouldn't you? Like, he's probably a real fun hang, you know? Anyways, just to wrap this up here. So the biggest thing about last night or on Sunday, when Brendan Fraser won the Best Actor award for his performance in The Whale, once news flashback a year ago, there's an article in Variety. Brendan Fraser cast in the movie called The Whale, where he wears a 400-pound fat man suit. And that's the movie. I didn't know it was based on a play. Maybe that was in the details, but ever since that article got released, the super insiders and these guys were 100% correct. Brendan Fraser is going to win the Academy Award for this role. And that snowballed for the entire year once the movie got released, once it hit home media, even up until Sunday night and up into his acceptance speech. So it's a very interesting story, the Brendan Fraser saga, especially these last few years.
I think I said it, and I'll say it again. That movie was kind of lame. I didn't like the movie.
Oh, so I haven't seen The Whale. I still haven't seen The Whale.
Oh.
I knew he was going to win. I still haven't seen it.
He was
So
very
you're
good.
the first negative review I've heard.
He was very good in it.
He's good. Okay.
But the movie itself was a bit like, eh.
Okay.
But controversies, like, so we'll talk about quick winners, right? My big, because obviously best actor in a leading role, Brendan Fraser, no shock. Best actor in a supporting role, I apologize for the pronunciation, but Ke Huy Quang?
Ke Huy Quan.
Ke Huy Quan.
Ke Huy, like your TV color, Quan. Ke Huy Quan.
Perfect.
Just call him Short Round.
No arguments there.
Rounds. Yeah.
And oh, that was the highlight of the night. And
it was a beautiful speech.
When Everything Everywhere All at Once won Best Picture, and he ran onto the stage, and him and Harrison Ford embraced. And it was like,
it's silly. That's so silly.
Short Round and Indiana Jones reunited. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
So the narrative going into the Oscars also is Ke Huy Quan hasn't worked since the Goonies, Mike Fish. It actually hasn't worked since his one-off role, his one-scene role in Encino Man with Brendan Fraser. Now, this is also not true. He hasn't maybe been doing a lot of Hollywood roles, but like he was the stunt coordinator on the original X-Men movie. He's been working. Maybe not the career he wanted, but he's been working. However, fantastic speech, and his performance in EEAIO was it was good. I really like. I already gave him a review on that movie, but his performance was great, especially that one scene where they're in the alley and he's just smoking a cigarette and is just talking to Michelle Yeoh the entire time. Let's just move on. I am very excited for Jamie Lee Curtis and Michelle Yeoh.
Boo! That was my only.
Boo!
That was my only complaint. Like,
Boo,
hey,
what?
Jamie Lee Curtis was fantastic in that movie.
Yeah.
But best actress in supporting role, I think it should have went to Stephanie Sue. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, interesting. I didn't see that coming.
I think her part, obviously her character and her performance was. I think was more pivotal in that movie.
She had a lot of
Jamie
tone changes. Like she played changes. Multiple characters and many costume changes. I was surprised they didn't win the best costume character. She was a rock, and guess what? I cried when she was a rock.
She played a rock beautifully.
She played a beautiful rock. Her and Michelle Yeoh. Yeah, that's always a messed up situation where there's more than one performer for the same category. you're pretty sure someone from that movie is getting it, but yeah, she I wonder how she feels honestly to be like. I'm sure she's like, I'm happy for Jamie Lee, but damn, I really wanted that. Like she didn't show up there to not win it. Like,
No. Also, my last Oscars well, actually, there's two Oscars observations. I mean, one, the gentleman who was sitting next to Michelle Yeoh, which is her partner, her life partner, Mr. Jean Todt, who
he's like an F1 driver, right?
No, well, not anymore. Well, no, a little bit too old for that. But he used to be the I guess the chairman. I don't know what that the head honcho for the FIA, which is the governing board that runs Formula One.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. So
But
yeah, I know. But
first, because maybe I've mentioned it before. I'm a big F1 fan. Been watching Formula One for 30 years. So I was very familiar with this man, right? I know his work and his book of work. But it wasn't until watching the Oscars and seeing him in the front row, it was the first time that I was like, that dude looks like Mel Brooks. If he could play Mel Brooks's brother in a movie.
Oh.
I mean, it'd be weird because obviously John Todd has a very strong French accent. But I'm sure Mel Brooks could pull it off. He's got the acting chops. And also, who's
he's probably as old as Mel Brooks was.
He's probably younger than Mel Brooks, to be fair. I'd have to Google it, but
I would hope he's younger than Mel Brooks now, but he's maybe what, as old as Mel Brooks was when he did Men in Tights?
I don't know.
That's 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
I need some
no,
Googling.
25.
Last thing, obviously, is it Tem, the musical lady
Tem.
who had the
I didn't know who this woman was
dress
before Sunday night, but wow. I'm not I'm so unenthusiastic for her right now.
Like, I'm sure she's a lovely person, and I'm not going to disparage
she doesn't
her
look
character.
like it. She looks like she's
but
got
that was a
mean
poor
face.
choice of wardrobe, or at least
she should have known.
It looks great. Do the red carpet thing, get your photos taken, and then walk into the Oscars and take it the fuck off and relax and watch the Oscars.
There's definitely no taking that headpiece off. Just going like, there's definitely no doing that there. But yeah, like I saw that crowd shot, the first crowd shot. I went, oh no! And she's like blocking like 3 rows of like 6. She's 18 people can't see because of this woman.
There's a bunch of people. Like, what's going on?
I saw that too. Then there's a couple articles about it online, and it's just like, yeah, most folks are like us, Mike. Which like, what the fuck was she thinking? Like, very rude and inconsiderate. You're not sitting in the back. You're nominated. You're like in a prominent seat. But a couple folks had the gall to say, well, if they're sitting behind her, then they ain't worth it. And like, bitch, who the fuck are you? Like, you would also be irritated to beyond belief if you were sitting behind her right now. And also, who is she? I like no.
I had to Google who it was. I have no idea who she was.
She's involved in the Wakanda Forever song, but she did not perform. I still don't know who she is.
The people behind her, I don't even know who that, but still, dick move. But maybe
the people behind her definitely know who she is now.
Maybe she had that like mean stoic look on her face, not because she's a mean person, but maybe she just genuinely like felt like she was sitting there, like, oh my god, I am.
She just got to own it, just
blocking all these people. But if I take this off, then the designer is not going to make me another dress. So I have to, oh fuck, just kill me, please. Finish the show.
Oh, no. It's definitely not about the designer at that point. It's about a thing where like, this headpiece is woven into my hair and is connected to the dress. There's no just popping it off and praying for the best. It's a lot of time went into putting that article on. So I bet she starved and dehydrated herself all day long.
You just know one of the people behind her was like, hey, you got a lighter? Has anyone got a lighter? I'll just set this bad boy on fire. But anyway,
People definitely thought it. No one said it out loud.
Or they were probably
People
maybe like
definitely
you
thought it.
go into the bathroom and then using it to dry their hands.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. She's most likely dehydrated for 9 hours because there's no way she went to the bathroom once with that dress on. Like, how do you, ladies of the syrup squad, how do you even navigate a ball dress? Like a tenth of complicated of that. You know what I mean? Like, uh, yeah.
But there you go.
Like a team had to put that dress on that woman.
Just yeah, in future, if you are going to an award show or anything that people will be seeing behind you, don't wear a massive headdress. Unless
No one
you're
else
seeing in
is
the back
saying it,
row.
but the lady who plays Diana Guerra, the woman also from Wakanda Forever, and then she's on The Walking Dead, Michonne. She also had some crazy ass headpiece on that. By the way, I haven't watched The Walking Dead in years, so all I know is this woman is bald now because of Black Panther, and it's like, how does she grow that much hair? And even if it is a hairpiece, like, why that much hair? Like, it's
Maybe she's-
higher than my hat, honestly, Mike Fish. And if I wore this hat to a theater right now, I'd feel like a dick if I didn't take it off.
Maybe she was like, well, how big do you want this fake hairpiece to be? And she said, well, I've gone years.
I want the
being
length
bald.
of California.
Just give me all of the hair. I've missed
All
hair
of the
so
hair.
much. Just give it all to me.
I've missed hair so much. Hilarious.
There you go. What do you think?
Otherwise,
what do
it
you
was a
think, Syrup
very-
Squad? Let us know at Waffle Box Pod on Twitter. What do you think about that? Craziness.
Craziness. Otherwise, it was a very non-eventful event. Everything, everywhere, all at once. Dude, they won like 7 of the 10 categories, and yes, there were 11 nominations, but they were only nominated in 10 categories. Like, it's pretty phenomenal feat. Whether you're a fan of the movie or not, shit happened. It's already done. I would like to go see The Whale now. I've been wanting to see The Whale, but I also don't want to spend $20 on it. And I didn't get to see it in the theater all 3 times they played it.
That's why you need to
man.
download it illegally on the internet.
Ooh, how dare you, Mike Fish? Support the artist. Support the artist.
I'm just putting it out there. I'm not suggesting you
saying.
do it.
However,
that was a test. That was a moral test. You passed. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. No, I really believe that. I don't really know if this was a great year for the nominations, honestly. I don't want to get too deep into it, but like, yeah, nothing really blew me away that's on this list here. Of all 24 categories, 23, 24, whatever, I would recommend you and the Mrs. Pisces sit down and watch RRR on Netflix sometime this week. Like, it's legitimate great, dude. Like, so that dance number comes out of nowhere, dude. Like, this is a movie where a man wrestles a tiger, 2 men, one drives a motorcycle, the other one gallops on a horse, and they jump off a bridge just to save a baby from blowing up in a oil factory thing. Like, there's a lot. A man fights off 1,000 protesters with a baton and just his fucking moxie. All right. This is a fantastic action film, dude. It's 3 hours long though. That's the problem.
I'm out.
However, fantastic dance piece. You would love it. I don't think there's too many of them, but like, it's RRR. I'm giving it the 2 thumbs up.
Well, there you go.
I think we should definitely do a reaction video to that one dance song though. I think you would get a kick out of it. You'd be like, oh.
I'm sure we can arrange that.
Cool. It's 5 minutes. Whatever.
Let's move on to the next story. Hawaii. Oh, Hawaii. What a wonderful place to go. Especially if you're in a romantic relationship, unless it can go very, very wrong. So, this couple, Elizabeth Webster and Alexander Burkle, that's an unfortunate surname, Alexander Burkle. They booked an excursion with Sail Maui in September of 2021. But the couple is now suing that company for $5 million for general damages and emotional distress. What
Was Lady
happened?
Gaga's dog involved in this?
No.
Thank God.
So, according to the federal lawsuit filed last month, Mrs. Webster and Mr. Burkle set sail from Lahaina Harbor at 10 a.m. local time for a snorkeling snorkeling tour to Lanai, a small island near Maui, and arrived to their first stop about 40 minutes later. Sounds good so far. The captain told passengers that the boat would anchor for about an hour. You right there, pal? You right there?
Yeah. Don't let that interrupt you.
Okay.
Of all the things that could interrupt you, don't let my cough interrupt you.
The lawsuit says so. Anyway, so the captain told passengers that the boat would anchor for about an hour, right? But the lawsuit says that he failed to give an exact time of when the boat would depart.
Oh,
An hour later, really. But anyway,
Oh,
so
no.
Miss Webster and Mr. Burkle also said they were given no advice about how to return to the boat, swim, I imagine, but what to do in a case of an emergency. The couple attempted to return to the boat about an hour later, but as they swam, they noticed it seemed to be moving further away. Uh-oh, spaghetti-o. What were initially clear and calm waters soon became turbulent and choppy, according to the lawsuit, and the couple signaled that they were in distress. The vessel took no notice, and the couple watched as the boat sailed away without them. Oh dear.
Wow. Yeah, I got problems with that.
Luckily, the couple swam back to Lanai Island and arrived on shore dehydrated and fatigued after more than 2 hours in the water. They were eventually discovered by local residents who helped them return to Maui. The lawsuits claimed the boat's crew members did 3 head counts, yet were still unaware that Miss Webster and Mr. Burkle were missing when the couple called the tour company after the ordeal. Now, what I'm going to take from this is 1, yes, the captain didn't tell them an exact time to return to the boat. However, he did give them a time frame, about an hour, right? And he's saying that he didn't tell them how to return to the boat. How do you think you're going to return to the boat? The same way you left the boat, knobhead. And then it says that the couple attempted to return to the boat after about an hour. How convenient. But I'm going to assume they were there, gone for more than an hour. With that said, still, don't fucking leave them. That's still a shitty move.
Of all the points, I only agree with the one where, yeah, obviously swim. They didn't teleport there. They didn't fly there. They swam from the boat. You swam back to the boat. But no, you give us an approximate time, and then guess what? Hey, dude, we're fucking underwater. I can't hear you underwater. And also, my scuba goggles ain't looking at the goddamn boat the entire time. So figure out a way to signal us. Give me hey, Mike, you ever go to the Olive Garden and they're like, it's going to be a 40-minute wait. Here's a bracelet or here's a hockey puck. And when it's your turn, it'll vibrate like crazy. Give me one of those things. All right. Like, give me something that's like, it's time to get back to the boat. We got 10 minutes to go. Also, by the way,
they definitely had that technology.
If I'm not back at the boat in 10 minutes, do something. This is bad business. If you start losing passengers,
let's go.
They must be dead. No. You've got snorkel equipment. You've got oxygen masks and tanks. Look for me. What if I'm stuck under a reef? What if I am just 2 minutes late? What the fuck? Like, also, if I'm 2 minutes late, stop the goddamn boat.
Rumor has it. So when they were doing the head count, the reason that they got the wrong, they thought they were back because they got the right number. But what happened was there was a little neighbor boy who was bothering the cab driver. And then when the captain got back to shore, he was like, Kevin! Even though it's Alexander, it wasn't Kevin, but...
Alexander!
What kind of parent am I? But yeah, so...
Boat captain are you? No, you're not a good tourist captain.
If I had to guess,
for this one.
I'm no lawyer, but I'm going to assume that Ms. Webster and Mr. Burkle aren't going to get $5 million, but I'm sure they're going to settle and they're going to get a nice chunk of change from this. And just
they'll get at least $2 million.
use some money to invest, because I'm sure maybe this is a tour company that doesn't have a bunch of excess cash, petty cash lying around. But just I'm
This is
sure it
probably
can't
one
be
of
that
those
expensive.
budget tours.
Invest like
The Mister is a cheapskate, allegedly, and he's just like, yeah, we could go with this professional boat, but this one's $5 cheaper. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. Oh my god, the boat's leaving.
but surely you can get those like little plastic bracelets, like you're saying, and then when it's time to return the boat, push a button, and everyone's bracelet goes. And you go, oh, quick, back to the boat. It's like Bluetooth. I'm sure it can't be that hard to do.
Yeah, it can't be that hard.
This is 2023. Come on, guys. Come on, anyway, good luck to them.
What are you doing?
And I'm pretty sure they're never going back to Hawaii again.
Well, at least not to that touring company.
No.
Hawaii is not the problem. It was just that one incident.
We're getting close and closer and closer to the midway point of this show. Before we take a quick pause for the cause, it's now time to celebrate some people doing some things with their lives and achieving things. It's now time for this week's Dumb World Record of the Week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why?
Why?
Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
This week's Dumb World Record takes us to Florida. Florida man. And yet this
Florida man.
This story doesn't involve someone off their tits with meth robbing a bank with a purple dildo or some crazy
and an alligator.
And an alligator.
A purple alligator dildo.
An alligator wearing like a bow tie and those weird glasses with the fake mustache. Play it cool, Snappy. So this 60-year-old Florida man broke the Guinness World Record for most push-ups in an hour.
Ooh. Whole hour?
For those watching the video version, I'm sure you can tell, me and Kush are like fine specimens of men. So we're not strangers to some push-ups. How many push-ups, Kushes, do you reckon this man was able to complete in 60 minutes? Or if I do the maths quickly, is it 3,600 minutes?
Yeah, I don't know.
Something like no, 3,600 seconds.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to say 1,000 push-ups.
1,000 push-ups.
I don't know. I don't I can do about 25 push-ups, and that's me being generous. No. It might be a whole fucking like
day.
5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And that's, again, I'm being generous. What I'm saying is I would do less than that. So
you do less than a whole
hour. I would definitely do less than 1,000.
So in 1 hour, Mr. Rob Sterling from Florida, 60 years old, remember, completed 3,264 push-ups.
3,000.
So again, if I've done the maths correctly, that's just under one every second. So he kept the pace of pretty much 1 a second for a full hour. That's insane.
How long has he been building up to this?
Well, he's 60, so I imagine probably at least 45.
Wow.
But
wow. Yeah.
So Rob Sterling said he decided to take on the Guinness World Record for most push-ups in 1 hour, brackets male, so there's a female category, which that doesn't make any sense to me. Like,
it's a brave new world.
Why is there a male? Because like if not to kind of get too far,
girly push-ups are on their knees.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, normally, whenever in sporting competitions, when they split up men and women, it's because based on the makeup of the bodies. In some things, just naturally, a woman would have more advantage over a man, and some vice versa. however, push-ups is you're literally pushing your own weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand why but anyways, I'm sure someone smarter than me can tell me why that's distinction. Anyway, but
Get on a syrup squad.
He decided to break this Guinness record for the most push-ups in 1 hour after learning that Australian Daniel Scully set the total at 3,182 in April 2022. That's the only explanation. So obviously, Rob Sterling has something against Australians. Like he just doesn't
think so.
He just or this Australian one guy holds the world record. Fuck that. Those dirty criminals.
What?
So yeah, I thought that was a bit weird. But Sterling, he's not resting on his laurels. Old 6-year-old Rob Sterling, Australian hating motherfucker. He said, "Quote: There's a 1 minute world record as well. It's 144 push-ups in 1 minute, and I set out to do that while I was training for this." So,
he'll be back.
So, but he said he set out for that. So basically, obviously, when he was training for the hour-long record, he was struggling at some point. So he was like, "Oh, how many can I do?"
Not necessarily.
What's the record for how many in a minute? Fuck this! I can't do it in an hour.
I mean, everyone hits a wall, but yeah. So obviously, this is a very, very push-up enthusiastic individual. Like he's at the bar with his mates, and he's just like, "Hey, get me a Guinness, and I'm gonna do 50 push-ups while I wait." And then his boys are like, "Hey, man!" Like eventually they tossed a couple cans. I don't know Australian lingo. I'm sorry. Anyway, they drank a bunch of beers.
Couple of tinnies.
Couple tinnies. Thank you, Mike Fish. Thank you, Mike Pisces. They dropped a bunch of tinnies, and then someone was like, "How many can you do in an hour?" And I bet a bar tab was involved, a very hefty size bar tab. Like, if you can't do 3,000 in an hour, you have to pay everyone's bar tab here, bro. And he was like,
and then there was some Rocky montage.
They were into it, man. Yeah. There was an audience, there was a crowd, people were cheering. One man was victorious. It was David Sterling, by the way.
Well, I hope that is correct. So yeah. Florida resident Rob Sterling. Congratulations on breaking the world record. But also, I know you're 60 and it's hard to teach old dogs new tricks, but watch Crocodile Dundee. Work through your hatred of Australians. It's okay. They're nice people. I know they're very laid back people. Like, what's the problem? How can you hate an Australian? Right?
I'm sure there's a story. It was someone took his girl or stole his wallet.
A dingo at his baby.
Scuffed his eye rock.
Maybe he's just, maybe his wife was punched by a kangaroo or something.
Ooh. I like that.
But to be fair, it was her fault. Don't get that close to a kangaroo. Have you seen them? They can be jacked. Like, don't fuck with kangaroos. And they can flex as well. There's a video, if you look up a video of a kangaroo flexing,
some of them got better definition than The Rock. Yeah, it's creepy.
Apparently, it's always arm day in the wild in Australia.
Ooh, Mike Pisces. Who wins in a fight? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or a kangaroo? A tiny kangaroo. 100-pound kangaroo. Because I'm sure they get much heavier. But let's just say, because I'm sure they're all strong as shit too, by the way.
But if it's only 100 pounds, so maybe it's either weak for a kangaroo or it's a young kangaroo. So it hasn't really got control over its own body. So it's going to run up to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. It's going to swing. It's going to throw a punch. But The Rock, he's still got it. So he's going to duck under that punch, hook the arm, rock bottom, people's elbow, game over. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Best case scenario if you're on The Rock's team.
And then a year later, they'll do it again at WrestleMania again. And it'll just do huge numbers.
I'd pay to see that.
Anyway, still to come. Let us know, by the way, Syrup Squad. Maybe we put up a poll. Who would win in a fight, a 100-pound kangaroo or The Rock? Still to come on episode 89. 89. God, how old
89.
are we? Oh, we're talking Scream 6. We've got the Trapdoor Feel Good story of the week and more, but we'll be back on the other side. It's the middle of the show, so be the show quiz. Stick around. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey, is that a Kit Kat bar?
Can we have a piece? Sure.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome back to Waffle Box, episode 89. As I say, still to come. We've got all the fun stuff. Scream 6, movie review, feel good story, trapdoor, and all that nonsense. But it is the middle of the show, so it's the perfect time for the middle of the show quiz. As always, what I do here is I quiz Kush 5 questions. Obviously, the name of the game is to get at least 3 out of 5, if not 5 out of 5, for the clean sweep. If he answers a question correctly, he's going to hear this noise, which makes him so happy. Look at how happy he is. However, if he gets a question wrong, he's going to hear this noise. And that makes him sad. So sad. Oh.
God damn it, Lathan.
And it is coming up, fast approaching to St. Patrick's Day. So I thought I'd quiz Kush on his knowledge of the motherland of so many, me and probably him, and probably
Actually a lot less than you'd think I was. But
yeah, Ireland, let's see how much you know.
all right.
Kush Hayes, are you ready to be put under the spotlight?
I am ready, sir. Yes,
Question number 1. Which country held the first St. Patrick's Day parade on record?
Boston.
Oh, the great country of Boston.
Oh, I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Ireland. I tried to get. You said Boston, so I was like, oh, which country? I was very much expecting you to say America, since Boston is in America. It's the United States.
The answer was the United States in
So I got
America.
too specific.
Yeah, yeah. So apparently on March 17th, 1601, the first St. Patrick's Day parade was held in a Spanish colony in which is now known as St. Augustine, Florida. Fun fact.
Fascinating. 1601, St. Augustine, Florida, Spanish colony.
Neither. So yeah, I guess I might have given you an extra bonus point if you said Spain, because technically that would have been sort of Spain.
I mean,
anyway,
question
number 2.
Spanish land. Number 2.
Question number 2. Ireland is the most successful country in
False.
which famous talent contest?
Drinking.
No. Other than drink, or what? Okay. I'll try to give you some clues.
Dancing.
Once you've been drinking,
Pretending the washboard is an instrument.
what do you like to do when you've had a couple of drinks? Other than dancing and fighting.
Gamble on people dancing and fighting.
No. So they are the most successful country in the Eurovision Song Contest, in which Ireland has won 7 times. 7 times.
Fascinating.
Question number 3. Okay, right, the pressure's on now. You need to get all 3 of these correct to win. Which holiday was invented in Ireland as a way to celebrate the end of summer?
Cinco de Mayo.
The fuck? Why would it be Cinco de Mayo?
You said the end of summer. My bad.
And Ireland.
Halloween.
Yay! Halloween was invented in Ireland as a way to celebrate the end of summer. Cinco de Mayo.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Question number four. Just over 10% of the Irish population make up this kind of thing, and there is no more of these people in any other country than in Ireland.
Redheads.
Oh, correctamundo. That's how I definitely know you got some Irish blood in you, my friend. You big red-headed bastard. All right, question number 5. Here we go. Name. So you got a 50-50 shot here. I'll give you, well, maybe not 50-50 shot, but you know what I mean. You got 2 chances here, I guess. Name one of the 2 most popular sports in Ireland. So it's the top
Rugby.
2. I'll allow you to give one of them. And
Football or rugby?
I'm purposely ignoring that because they are
Darts.
incorrect. Jesus.
Snooker. Drinking. Lots of... Beating your wife.
You lose.
No, oh my God.
Beating your wife? Good Lord, I apologize.
That was like
Irish
my 7th
listeners.
pick, dude. What the fuck?
So
said
the
football.
2
I
most
said-
popular, Gaelic football.
That's not football.
No, there's no. Like, you could have been talking about NFL for all I know. You crazy
No,
American.
you know I was. Oh, damn you.
Well, no,
So I
okay.
said
Well,
soccer. Would that have mattered?
Soccer? No, because Gaelic football and soccer are 2
See,
completely
here I am
different
respecting your
sports.
culture, and you don't punish me for respecting your culture.
And hurling. Hurling is another one of their popular sports.
Hurling.
They love to throw stuff.
Hurling isn't where you pick up the log. That's the caber toss.
Toss the
Is
caber.
hurling
That's in
involved?
Scotland.
That's Scotland. So hurling. What are we hurling? I feel like we're hurling the stick, a rugby stick. What are we hurling?
What
Why am I using enough baseball method? Here?
hurling? So, oh, Jesus Christ, this looks like a violent sport. So it's kind of, I guess it's the easiest. I mean, it's not exactly the same, but just for the sake of time, rather than spending 10 minutes on this, it looks like you know how violent lacrosse can be?
Yes.
Yeah, this looks like a slightly more violent version of lacrosse.
Okay, lacrosse. So it's field hockey, which is lacrosse. It's got a stick, and folks get jacked in the face. There's no high sticking in lacrosse, apparently.
Oh,
like, you get jacked all the time.
This is why 2 of us are smart. 2 of us smart. One of the things, the most popular things asked on Google was, how would you describe hurling? And the answer was an Irish game resembling both field hockey and lacrosse. Boom. Nailed
They're
it.
the same thing, though. They are the same thing, though. But yeah, no.
Well,
anyway.
except they're played by redheads. Anyway.
Well, field hockey is played by girls in the United States, whereas lacrosse is played by snooty rich white boys.
And Sterling Archer.
And Sterling Archer was a snooty rich white boy.
I guess he is. He is a rich.
I'm confirming that for you.
Yeah,
so anyway,
off his mother's money.
I am going to dispute this loss because I said football. I'm sorry I didn't say Gaelic football, but I did say football. Producer Lathan, you get on this right now.
But you did technically say Cinco de Mayo, and I allowed you to give another answer to get Halloween.
Then there should be no reason why you shouldn't be lenient now.
Well.
Also, Cinco de Mayo, what a great answer. That's the funniest answer you could get for an Irish-themed holiday question.
Anyway, Lathan, do you think, should we give him this one? What's your thoughts, Lathan? Lathan!
I really hope that I'm a high right now, But just in case I'm not, do you think Petco sells food for unicorns?
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Lathan. Take a seat.
What?
Jesus.
Where'd you
Like,
find this guy? Where'd you find this guy? Who is this guy?
Florida, apparently.
Florida?
Anyway, we're almost finished, Lathan. Keep it together. Keep it together. But no, I don't think Petco does sell unicorn food. Anyway, it's now time to move on to the next segment, which is where we're going to line up 4 celebrities over their individual trapdoor, because this planet that we live on is overcrowded. So one by one, week by week, we're going to take one away. And it's this week's trapdoor segment. It's your first time joining us on Waffle Box. The way this goes is I give Kush 4 celebrity names, and he has to decide which one is going to be sent down the trapdoor into oblivion. Of course, he has to show his work. And where's your notepad, Kush?
Okay, buddy.
Oh, good. We are slowly working our way through the alphabet, and we have stumbled upon the letter V, which
V?
We are very close to the end. We are very close to the end. What's after V?
W?
W? Oh, that'll be an easy one. I'm just worried when we get to X and Z, that could be fun. But V. Okay. So, your 4 celebrities this week are Vin Diesel, who is famous for driving cars very fast and being a big proponent of family. Contestant number 2, Vince Neil, who is most famous for being the lead singer of the Motley Crue. Contestant number 3, Vince Vaughn, famous for being that guy who's like kind of funny, but like, is he that?
Who's not
funny?
Jon Favreau?
But
he's the key to Key and Peele.
Is he even that? But then he's starting Dodgeball, and now he's bulletproof,
Yeah, man.
because like no matter if anyone says anything bad about Vince Vaughn, I'm like, bitch, have you seen Dodgeball?
Dodgeball's amazing. How dare you?
Dodgeball is incredible. And then finally, contestant number 4.
Right.
Vanna White, who's most famous for waiting for lights to come on a
Letters to
board
turn.
and go boom, and she touches them and letters appear. She works on Wheel of Fortune.
Those letters do appear.
So it's Vin Diesel, Vince Neil, Vince Vaughn, or Vanna White. I was gonna go like just to complete the, because Vin is I guess Vin is short for Vinny or Vincent, I guess. So I was gonna go for
what Vin is short for.
So I was going to go for a theme, and I was going to go Vin Diesel, Vince Neil, Vince Vaughn, or Vince McMahon. But after the last couple of months, that's a really easy choice. So I thought, oh, no, okay, let's just throw Vanna White in it to make it really hard.
I think
hey-o.
It's only hard because of Vanna White. Anyway, I'm honestly surprised we didn't take a week off from the alphabet theme and go with an Irish theme for the week, but we're here.
Well,
we're
no,
doing
because on St. Patrick's Day you're going to dare send an Irish person down trapdoor?
They yes, of course.
Fair enough. All right.
The Irish celebrate things a little differently than we do, Mike Fish. And you've lived closer to them than I have, but you are aware of this. Like, they would be happy to make a sacrifice to the trapdoor this week. They'd be like, oh, that fucker's got to go. He's doing no good to us.
I mean, it depends how you work out what someone's background is.
I mean, the Irish hold a grudge,
but
like their grudges are pretty impressive.
You could make the argument that I am half Irish. FYI.
You are?
Well, see, right, before we get into the real trap, this is another thought I was thinking of, right? Because like, how do you work it out, right? Because obviously, so both my grandparents, is it maternal grandparents? Is it that when it's on your mother's side, maternal?
Maternal is mother, paternal is father.
So my maternal grandparents, both of those are Irish, right?
All right.
Which then, in your would then, because those two did the dirty and birthed my mother. So
Yes,
in theory, you'd
that's
think
true.
she's now Irish, right? Because
That is
she's
true.
been birthed from two Irish people. My
Yes.
father is English.
Okay.
So you would
This
argue
is
that
all
I
adding up.
am 50% Irish, 50% English, right?
Okay. So what's the problem here, man?
Well, no, because then like I guess it all comes down to identity. Because so my paternal grandparents Irish, but then they spent most of their life in England, and then my mother was born and raised in England. Never, pretty much, I'm pretty confident she never touched Irish soil. So it's like,
okay,
am I really half Irish?
Yeah, well, only by definition. Like, yeah, you couldn't relate to an Irishman apparently, but I'm sure you guys would be like, hey, let's drink beer and shoot darts while we watch football. Oh, you want to watch Gaelic football? Yeah, I'm down with that too.
Want to do some hurling? I'll
You want to do
watch.
some
I'll
hurling?
watch from the
No,
sidelines.
let's
I
not
mean,
do
for
any
the
hurling.
purpose of getting an Irish passport, so I can get the EU benefits, then obviously
Why
I'm going
not?
to ham up the fact that I'm half Irish. But the rest of the time, I'm like, no, I'm mostly English. I'm a pretty English guy. I'm an English guy.
I've always considered you English, so yeah, man. And it's important that we focus on the paternal side of your family because that's the dominant side of your family, and therefore you're English.
Wow, you heard it here first, everyone. Kush Hayes
Mhm.
says men are better than women. Anyway, Vin Diesel, Vince Neil, Vince Vaughn, or Vanna White. Well, clearly
Well,
Vanna
here's what's
White's in
up.
trouble because you hate women, apparently.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, Mike Fish.
Let me tell you something,
Vanna
bro.
White is not in trouble because I've seen her naked in Playboy. So
What?
Vanna White. Oh yeah.
When was this?
No, 1984.
Oh, I bet she had a giant. Oh no, is this coming out the 70s?
Now she's always been a very slender
but
body, and it wasn't like a
but
professional shoot.
like
It's
70s
a
into the
controversy.
80s. Was there a giant bush?
No bush because
What?
she showed her breasts, but this was also controversy, Mike Fish, controversy. She took some sexy photos for a boyfriend once upon a time in the early 80s, and then they broke up, and he was like, fuck you, bitch. Hey, Playboy, I got naked pictures of Vanna White. And they're like, here's money. Here's so much money. There you go. and then pictures showed up in Playboy. There was a lawsuit and everything.
So it's like iPhone
Yeah.
leaks before iPhones were even a thing.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
Did Vanna White get some even more money from Playboy after that when she sued them?
They I don't know how the lawsuit actually ended, but she ended up doing a bunch of events with Playboy after that. So I figure things became copacetic.
Or they showed her how much money they have, and she's like, "Oh, actually, let's be friends. Let's be friends." Anyway,
I imagine they found very common ground. So Vanna White is safe.
Vanna White, you are
Mr. Vince
safe.
Neil. Mr. Vince Neil. He's a funny dude. He's made a lot of funny pictures. I enjoy most of his work, not all of his work, but we've been there for the good times and the bad times. So
Kickstart My Heart is a banger. That's one of my favorite songs.
Oh, no, shit.
Who's you?
It is the St. Patrick's Day episode. I was talking about Vince Vaughn. Did I say Vince Neil?
You did say Vince Neil.
Lathan, go back to the tape. Oh no. Yeah. So I said Vince Neil. Okay. Well, we're talking about Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn is safe.
Okay.
And we're just gonna cut it out there. Vin Diesel, I'm looking forward to Fast X. And guess what? I need Fast X Part 2 after this. Even if Fast X is as bad as Fast 9. And Fast 9 was terrible. Like, I like the Fast and the Furious series. And I have a hard time saying, like, that's not a bad one. That's not a bad one. Fast 9, terrible movie. Just terrible movie as its own. So, but still looking forward to Fast X. We need Fast X Part 2. And Vin Diesel, you are safe. Wow. Mr. Vince Neil.
Wow.
You are going down the trap door because, well, This is the St. Patrick's Day episode, and I encourage everybody to not drink and drive. If you're gonna drink, don't drive. There's ride shares, there's scooters. Hell, walk, take a bus, or just stay home. But if you're gonna drink, do not drive. And Vince Neil, once upon a time, did the opposite of all of that, and killed the lead singer of Hanoi Rocks in a car accident.
Wow.
Served no time. It's a sad thing. I'm sure he feels terrible about it. I'm not trying to make fun of him about it, but Vince Neil, because of this and only this, your service on this earth is done, sir. Good day.
Also, by the way, if you are listening to Kush Hayes' advice there, when he did mention about there are other options available, he mentioned scooters. Don't get on a scooter.
Because I don't get on a scooter.
I don't know, because I guess it's state by state by state by state. But even if you are under the influence of alcohol and you are caught riding a bicycle, you can get a DUI in New Jersey.
That is true. So, just if you're gonna drink, just find a spot, just plant your flag, and stay there, stay the night, and walk it off. Or take an Uber, Lyft, ride share. Ask your mom or dad to call you.
It depends where you are and what the weather is like and all that good stuff, and how drunk you are.
Stay at home.
Sometimes
stay at home and drink everything, but stay at home.
If you can remember you got them on your person, or if you have them, sometimes let's say I'm a bit drunk. Oh, you know what? And I've got like 30 minutes to walk. Sometimes it's quite nice, the fresh air, pop the old AirPods in, just walk, stagger home, listen to a podcast.
I've done that walk. I've done that walk plenty of times.
And also, it kind of freshens you up, and then hopefully the hangover's not as bad the next day. There you go. A little friendly advice from your pals here at Waffle Box. Right. Let's talk about we talked about Fast 10. Fast 10. Talking about another franchise that just won't die, apparently. It's now time to talk about Scream 6 in this week's Kush's movie review.
Kush's movie review.
Scream 6. I couldn't give a shit, but you saw this movie. So let's hear about it, I guess.
Sure, that's fair. So, I have enjoyed. The first Scream is absolutely brilliant. It's fantastic. It's Wes Craven's one of his best movies within his lifetime. And then there was a bunch of others, and they all got exceedingly worse or whatever. I remember people saying Scream 4 is as good as Scream 1, and I went, to be fair, I saw a bootleg of it, but my attitude was like, no, it's not. It's not. It's updated. There are new rules. It's 10 years later. I get why you think this is clever, but no. 10 years later, we would get Scream 5, and you know what, Mike Fish? We never reviewed that here on the Waffle Box because
it's a damn shame.
COVID. I got COVID, and then I just went, yeah, I don't care. You know what? I don't care. So, but we needed something to talk about this week. I didn't know if we were going to talk about this or Adam Driver in 65. By the way, 65, a lot of fun. 90 minutes and a lot of fun. Also, delivers everything it promises, and in fact, risks you going, that was a stupid twist, for just going like, Adam Driver's on Earth. He's an alien on Earth. Anyway, Scream 6.
I could believe Adam Driver being an alien.
Yeah, it worked out. It worked out really well, dude. But we're talking about Scream 6. Rated R, 2 hours, 2 minutes. It is directed by two dudes named Matt and Tyler. I'm sorry I didn't include your last names, gentlemen. It is written by two other dudes named James and Gary. Also, sorry I didn't include your last names, gentlemen. It stars Miss Courtney Cox, Melissa Barrera, who most folks will know from Scream 5, but she was also in Lin-Manuel Miranda's In the Heights. And then Jenna Ortega, who is in the Netflix series Wednesday that, while I still haven't
And
seen,
she's
everybody
everything.
freaking loves. She is a huge fan favorite right now. Everybody loves Miss Jenna Ortega, and
Word on the street,
I get
she's
it. I get it.
she may be in the early thoughts of the plan for Beetlejuice 2.
They've been talking about Beetlejuice 2 for 30 years, so I
I'm
get
still
why her
holding on
name
to
is
hope.
now being talked about. Ooh, don't. Just don't. And then finally, Roger Jackson as the voice of Ghostface, which is silly because Ghostface has never been the same killer twice in the same two movies. So it's always a new Ghostface. Every time it's a new twist. Oh my god, it's always somehow related. As you may have noticed, Nev Campbell not included in that title. I actually called my shot and was like, Nev Campbell's going to be the Ghostface. She is not. I'm 1,000% wrong about that. But the movie itself is it's well done. I had a fun time with it, dude, and the crowd I was with also had a very fun time. It's They don't really focus on as much meta stuff as they leaned on in the first three Scream movies, maybe even the fourth one. Again, didn't see the fifth one, but it's a new environment. The last five movies all took place in this little town just north of me in Northern California, just north of Marin County. And this time they're in New York City, and it's a different environment. It's different people. It's different characters, and man, it's crazy. Ghostface is just out there, sometimes in broad daylight, sometimes it might be nighttime, but he's surrounded by people and just stabbing people the fuck up. Not giving stealth, not a problem in this thing for Ghostface in New York City. The subways aren't safe. The bodegas aren't safe. Your neighborhood library is not safe. This is one of the crazier Screams I've seen. It's nice that they took all the characters out of their environment. The survivors from the last film, Courtney Cox, Melissa Barrera, and Jenna Ortega, they're all dealing with stuff differently this time, and it's yeah. Long story short, I had a good time, but once I start pulling the threads on the sweater, I would like to give this a 4 out of 5, but I'm giving it a 3 out of 5 because, quite frankly, we get to a scene where, and I'm not going to try and give any spoilers, but there's a shrine to the last 5 ghost faces, which make up 9 people for some reason, and they.
Well, yeah, because in the first one, wasn't
you're telling me
there was 2 or 3
actually
in the first one, right?
There's 2 in the first one, 1 in the second one. Yeah, it's always a team job. It's almost always a team job. So, and then again, it's never the same person twice. Worst summer job ever. However, it took me the next day. I just woke up and I was like, you're telling me that it's someone paid off a cop to take evidence out of this Northern California police locker room and then ship it all the way to New York and then store it in this rundown facility that they're paying New York rent prices on just to have a villain lair or a museum or whatever. Come on. That's just kind of dumb.
No.
When you excuse that thought, the scenes are very well done. The tension is ratcheted up. I had a really good time. Most times I hate this person, but I was that asshole talking to the screen oh, you better get it out of there, bitch. You are not safe. Oh, nope, don't pick that. Nope, don't answer the phone. Look, I was that guy for the entire 2 hours and 2 minutes. But so I would like to give this a 4 out of 5. I'm giving it a 3 out of 5. But if you're a fan of this series, I think you're gonna have a great time.
If you say so.
That's fine.
This is in the same category of was it Final Destination that did about 12
love Final Destination movies. Those are the greatest movies ever.
No, the first one was clever, and then after that it was Oh,
I would
it's
dare
a
say
wobbling
Final
street sign.
Destination
Oh, that's gonna
as
kill
a
That's
series
gonna decapitate someone.
consistently
There you
more
go.
entertaining than the Saw films.
Oh well,
Final Destination is
gonna
more
argue.
entertaining than the Saw films.
Well, yeah, same thing. I think Saw 1 was very clever,
Great.
and then it just
Second
like,
one even better.
we don't need more. We don't need. Cause how many of those a day end up they're doing?
They have a 10th one coming out.
Including like the prequels or some shit and that crap.
I believe we're coming up on Saw 9 or 10. But yeah, yeah.
Well, speaking of like crappy horror movies that have too many sequels, I still haven't watched Halloween Ends yet, I don't think.
Oh, that's fine.
Starring...
Did you see Halloween Kills?
Which was the first one?
So, well, the first one is Halloween, but then the 2018 one is also called Halloween, and then the second one after that
Peacock
is Halloween Kills.
Halloween Kills and then Halloween Ends, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I saw Halloween Kills. It was dumb and annoying, and I haven't watched Ends yet. But I'm sure we've mentioned it before.
So I also sat on Halloween Kills.
This dude is a monster who just doesn't stop. He can't be stopped. Throughout the whole narrative is, oh my god, this guy, he's going to come back. The build up, the whole movie is like, oh my god, this guy, man. The people think he's going to be coming back. Oh my god, it's like he can't be stopped. Yada 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 yada. So they beat the shit out of him eventually, and they get like, oh, should we make sure he's dead? No, he's fine. Let's just leave the body there. Come on, everyone. Like, it was so annoying. I crumpled up my notes.
I would actually recommend you check out Halloween Ends. It's a fantastic movie for 85 minutes, and then it turns into a Halloween movie. But then they take one of your comments from the comment box, Mike Fish, and they're like, we can't have more Michael Myers, so let's just throw him in the trash compactor, like
Shredder, Casey Jones.
No, worse than Shredder. No, that's the garbage truck. No. You know that machine that they used to chop up cars, whole cars. They toss them in one of those things.
Oh, spoil that.
Anyway. Yeah, whatever.
I'm probably never gonna watch it.
People know.
Anyway, right. Let's wrap this crazy thing up because we are slowly chugging along. Pretty soon we're gonna be longer than an Oscar ceremony. So it's now time for this week's Feel Good Story of the Week. Dig it.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
Yes. And who would have thought this week's Waffle Box has been so crazy? Like we had a Florida man who actually achieved something with his life. Who would have thunk we'd have ever seen that happen? And now we have a feel-good story coming from Staten Island in New York.
Ooh.
What the hell?
Strong Island.
The only good thing about Staten Island is the ferry that leaves Staten Island and gets to Manhattan. Anyway, so this young lady.
Pete Davidson's behind us. Run!
Oh my god! Just throw a random single woman in front of him. He'll be distracted for a couple of weeks until he gets her name tattooed on him. So, Dottie Kearney. Yeah, I went there. Dottie Kearney, right? So she lived in her apartment in Staten Island, and for almost 30 years, she held on to some love letters that she found in her Staten Island home, hoping to one day reunite them with their rightful owners. And so she discovered 18 love letters in 1995, and she was like, oh, wow. Reunite these, right? So she was watching TV one day and she saw someone called Chelsea Brown who is a genealogist who combs through records and ancestry websites to find families and reunite them with lost heirlooms. You know, kind of like if you ever watch those shows like Who Do You Think You Are, where they get a celebrity and find out that they're all related to Genghis Khan at some point. Ooh. So she contacted Chelsea Brown, and through their work, she actually found out that they were written by Claude Marston Smythe, who was serving in the U.S. Navy during World War II, and obviously he was sending them to his wife, Marie Bourgault Smythe.
Is that Smythe with a Y?
Yeah, Smythe. Yes, Smythe. Smythe. Gotcha. So Brown tracked down their daughter, Carol Bolin, Bohlin, Bolin. Yeah. Who confirmed that Kearney's home, Dottie's, was actually their childhood home. Her dad had stored these love letters in a secret place in the attic and then I guess forgot about them. I don't know. So it didn't surprise her that he kept the letters up there. Dottie Kearney told USA Today that the missives revealed a precious love story and she didn't want to get rid of them. The daughter is grateful, calling the notes a treasure. So there you go. I'm assuming by the story that both parents are dead now. So yeah, I guess it's a feel-good story that the love notes are returned. But then again, now I'm actually reading out loud. I'm kind of like, imagine both my parents were dead. You know, thankfully they're not. They're both alive and kicking. Oh. But imagine both my parents were dead, and then like years later, some stranger rocks up at my door and goes, "Hey, do you want to read some dirty texts that your dad sent to your mum?" Oh, no. I'm good.
How romantic.
Because these obviously during World War II, these were the versions of the dirty text messages.
Maybe, they didn't get as graphic as we did, though.
Maybe he drew a picture of his penis. OG dick pic. There you go. Bless them. Bless their heart. So there you go. That wraps
bless their heart.
Feel good story. Well, that does bring a close to another episode of Waffle Box, episode 89. That means, because as mathematics work, next week will be episode 90. Oh my gosh, we're chickering away to 100 episodes. My gosh. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but just FYI, I've got something very special planned for the lead up to episode 100, so keep an eye on that. Check out all our socials at WaffleboxPod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook if you are in your 40s or above. Kush, you do other podcasts, of course. You do the Bosnet.family. So what content have the Syrup Squad got to look forward to over the Bosnet.family?
So what we got to look forward to, still undecided. Maybe we'll have maybe we'll talk about the UFF number 666. However, I suggest everyone check out our Oscar review with Drew Angelman from last week, where we talk about what we think is going to win Best Picture. Did we get it right? Yes, we did. But find out how we got there. Also, that's all I got right now. Also, playlist, Kush's movie reviews. Check out what I thought of all 10 Best Picture reviews. Also, new movie reviews coming out after this. We did Creed 3 last week, and you'll hear Scream 6 later tonight.
Wonderful. So there, go to Bosnet.family. Make sure you follow me at Mike _ no, it's Kush _ Hayes. That's him. Kush and me is at Only Mike Fish.
Mr. Mike Fish.
Yeah.
Only Mike Fish.
But it is obviously a good night from me. It's a good night from Kush. Lathan, say good night, Lathan.
Good night, Lathan.
And until next week, take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.